this is just a brief video to welcome you to the course as we are preparing to start the summer semester. We have, of course, quite a bit that we're going to be covering. Currently, you should be seeing the home page. You will see details here about your instructor. I'm Professor James Reed, Fraternity Valley Community College. The information that's posted here shows you my office, which is at the Gibbs Academic Building, A230. However, during the summer, I'm not in the office very often. In fact, I will probably not be down there more than once or twice during the course of the semester. Therefore, you probably cannot reach me there and cannot reach me at this phone number. This is my office phone number. I do show you office hours between 9 and 10. I will be up typically every morning early anyway, and I will be checking the computer at my house to see if there are any messages, any details there that you need to send to me. So I will be available for you to message, and I will respond to those messages as quickly as I can. The email is here, james.reed@tvcc.edu. The course is set up fairly simply. It goes chapter by chapter. What you do need to recognize is that you are going to be using a textbook called Culture and Values, which is in 2 volumes. Volume 1 and Volume 2, which you will purchase through the TVCC bookstore, which hopefully you already have. We do not have much time this summer, and so you need to have your books already set up for yourself. The 2 volumes that you purchase through the textbook will also come with a card that will have an ebook access code to it. That will be covered by a silver film, which you scrape off, and it reveals a letter and number code. But the textbook will also come in a loose leaf version for you. Now, if you don't buy the textbook through the bookstore, which is perfectly fine, please make sure that you do have both Volume 1 and Volume 2, as we will cover all 23 chapters. If you want to have the ebook, you can actually go to Cengage and just purchase the card directly for it without getting the what they call the hard copy, the loose leaf version of the textbook. But the loose leaf comes with what you pay for through the bookstore. You get both the loose leaf, full textbook, Volumes 1 and 2, and the ebook access for the complete book as well. So again, you need to make sure you have that. This is a part of Cengage Unlimited, so that if you're taking any of the courses this summer that will make use of Cengage published material, you basically just pay one price for all the textbooks. So again, you'll see that I have announcements that are made. Currently, the only one is basically a welcome to the course. So that's just this one little welcome. You also will have modules. I just clicked on the modules, and they are set up very simply. The first one is the Start Here module, which is just designed to familiarize you with Canvas, work you through the details. Give this just a moment. It takes a while to load up. And you, of course, have the details here again, welcoming you to the course. Has the access to the syllabus, which when you click on it, you'll see the URL link, and I'll just open that in a new tab. And so give it a moment, and it will display for you the syllabus. And so it just goes to the details about what the course is, how to get the textbooks, the learning outcomes, the setup for the course, policies such as late policies. There should not be any. The idea about deadlines, make sure you do pay attention to those. The idea about scholastic dishonesty, which we won't have to worry about any of that, but you'll see that the punishment for that is that if you do engage in that, you will see a failing grade for whatever assignment that was, and failing grade for the course, which not too concerned about that one. These are all the standard policies for the course. The details here, everything that we have, those are fairly standard for the most part. So the syllabus is up there for you. The next part under Start Here, it shows you the course outline, which is a little different from the one that's posted at the syllabus, because at the time we were posting the syllabus, they were telling us, oh, you'll have 6 weeks. No, we don't have 6 weeks. We have approximately 30 days for this course. And when they were thinking 6 weeks, they were saying, well, a 5-day week. No, it's not set up that way. So we have basically 4.5 weeks, which you have material to cover and an exam. But everything is set up for you. Week 1, which starts officially Tuesday and ends next Sunday. You have a reading quiz, and then you have your first exam to take. Each week you will have a reading quiz and a major assignment. Week 2, reading quiz over 6 and 7, and you'll see your exam over 6 through 10. Week 3, you have a reading quiz over chapters 13 and 14, and then you have the one major essay due. And week 4, reading quiz, exam over 4 chapters, 16 through 19, and then reading quiz and the last exam over chapters 20 through 23, which will serve as the final exam. When you look at the modules, again, we'll go back to those very quickly. All your assignments are contained within Canvas. You will be accessing the ebook, which takes you to MindTap at Cengage, but you have no assignments there. Instead, if we look at Chapter 1, you'll see I give you the details about that. You have, as it says here, Chapter 1 at the beginning takes you to the reading for the chapter. So when I click on this, give it just a moment, it opens up a window, says, we'll be loaded into a new browser, and then takes you to Cengage. To access the ebook, that's why you need that card with the code in it. First time you click on it, it will ask you to register with Cengage. You'll use that code as your access code, and from then on, you'll just be able to get into the ebook. The ebook is going to look a little bit like this. Give it a moment. It takes a while. But it's officially listed as MindTap. And MindTap is simply the Cengage tool that they use. This is what the book looks like. I'm going to go back because this is the first page. And if you look in the loose leaf or the textbook itself, the very first page in the textbook shows you this picture. It's all on one page. Then it has a preview and the details. So literally what's here in the ebook is simply the information that's contained within the book. And literally it walks you through the entire textbook. Give me a moment here. One of the key aspects for each chapter, which is really nice, at the end of each chapter, as you'll see the headings for all the different parts here, at the end of each chapter, it has an outline of the entire chapter, where it comments about some of the key points in each chapter, some of the details here that you can look at. This is very useful for you when you're taking reading quizzes, because you can consult the outline there at the end of the chapters to see if the information is mentioned there. It will also prove useful for you when you are using the textbook to take your exams, because I'm not expecting you to remember every detail, every bit of information. So when you're taking your reading quizzes, when you're taking your exams, please make sure you use the textbook, whether you're using the printed version or the ebook. If you're going to use the ebook, open up the ebook in one tab, then open up your exam or your reading quiz in the other, and just work from there. So that's what the ebook looks like. When we come back to the modules, again, you'll also see that other information from the textbook and from Cengage have been posted. This information, and give it a moment. I'm waiting for it. There we go. Okay. The flashcards, which are simply all the images within the chapter, are put on flashcards. The PowerPoint, again, is basically all the images put onto to slides to look through. The flashcards, for instance, I'll show you this very quickly. It loads that up also. Again, you'll notice it takes you to Cengage to MindTap. That's where the flashcards are. Give it a moment. And bear with us as it waits for them. There you go. Maybe. It says it's resolving the host. Here we go. There we are. And again, all this is, here's the image, and literally what the flashcards are, simply the images. But if you flip the card, card, it tells you the details. This is King Tut's face as based upon a reconstruction. They did a photographic image of the mummy. The skeleton remains underneath the mummy wrapping. Then they use that, and using a forensic sculpture, they put together what would be the face. It says here a silicon bust that is believed to be an accurate forensic reconstruction of King Tutankhamun. And so that's how King Tut, or King, would have looked. So you can go through and do the flashcards. You don't have to. As I said, all the information contained on the flashcards are actually within the chapter. When you read through the chapter, and again, there it is again, and there's the details that would have been on the flashcard. And so you have that same information there. Other details that are offered, besides just the textbook information, I posted links to various videos or articles that talk about some of the key details within the chapter. Some more information such as recent discoveries that have been revealed. And I also have for you, for each of the chapters, I have recordings that have been previously done. For instance, this is from 2 years ago, the start of the fall semester of 2020, when we were still doing Zoom classes. And this is simply a Zoom recording in which I go through the chapters. This first one, for instance, is just Introduction to the Course.
Sorry.
I'll pause that one. But all it does is basically work through the course. I'll move ahead here a little bit. And again, it shows you some details about the textbook and some of the information and walks you through it. The second video that's listed here, that's just sort of the introductory video. The second video that I have posted actually is a discussion of Chapter 1, in which I go through Chapter 1 fairly in a detailed way. You get to put up with me for a moment as you look at my image. But if I go a little further ahead, this is really what I do. I walk you through the chapter. Let's move up just a little bit here, about halfway through this video. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh. This is the tablet that we have of it. I know the details are a little blurred here. You don't get to read it too well. That's why you have to look at your own book really to read through it. But I do discuss the details, I'll offer you comments about it, so that each of these videos are set up in that way. And I have videos for all 23 chapters that have been previously recorded. So if you want to spend some time, if you want to hear me talk about the chapters, if you need to hear some discussion, I do augment what's in the book. I do try to explain what's in the book, but also will add other information and details about it. That's offered for you as well. For instance, under chapters 2 and 3, again, there's the different chapters you can go to. Again, that's through Cengage. I have for you the PowerPoints. Also, chapters 2 and 3 are focused on Greece, the rise of Greece, and then the development of that classical period. This is a series of lectures from Yale University as part of their Open Yale courses. And if you click on it, there's a link that you can click on. It's from Professor Donald Kagan. Dr. Kagan was a specialist in this area, and he did a series of videos. There are 24 sessions. I can click on that and show you. Each one is 1 hour long. But if you want to know some further detail about some of the areas, such as the Persian Wars that's covered in our textbook, the rise of democracy that really didn't last that long, he has 2 lectures over it. He has details about the Peloponnesian War, which basically consists of 2 different conflicts. Well, he goes into that much more extensively. And so you have quite a bit there that's offered through this Yale series. And again, these are all optional for you. They're not mandatory for you to watch. It's just that it will give you additional information that will not be covered in the textbook. The textbook tries to cover as much as it can, but it doesn't cover everything. There's information that, even in the course of 23 chapters, the editors could not put all that together. But you will also see that under chapters 2 and 3, you have your reading quiz. So all the reading quizzes are contained within the chapters that will be tested, such as 2 and 3 here. So you click on this, and the reading quiz will become available for you. You will have 20 questions over each reading quiz, multiple choice, and you have 30 minutes to take those. As I mentioned earlier, when you're taking the reading quiz for any particular grouping of chapters 2 and 3, for instance, use your textbook. I'm not expecting you to try to remember all the names, all the dates, all the details. I want you to learn those details. I want you to become familiar with them. But trying to remember all these specific details, not so much. I would like you instead to become familiar with it, learn from it, appreciate what humanities really is. So use the textbook when you're taking your reading quizzes and also when you're taking your exams. The exams, in your case, every week, this first week, second week, week 4, week 5, you have an exam. Those exams are all under a separate module listed as exams. And there you'll see exam 1 through exam 1 for chapters 1 through 5. And again, you have multiple choice questions, 40 of those. You also have 4 open-ended questions, which will require you to answer. And you have a total of 90 minutes to take the entire exam. Again, use your textbook as you're going through that. Use it for the multiple choice and for the open-ended questions. I will tell you now that I'm also an English teacher, so when I have short answer, paragraph-style questions, I expect answers to be complete and detailed, well-supported. I also will expect to see full sentences as responses. I will expect to see proper grammar, proper spelling, proper punctuation. Those will go all into consideration of giving you full credit for the response or not. I expect the details to be very specific. That's why I allow you to use the textbook. So when you're doing the open-ended questions, a little rule of thumb is very simple. Responses should be longer than the questions. You are expected to provide key details and discussions of whatever the question may be. So provide that fully, and that's what is going to be expected for you. And so you have that aspect, and details. We don't have much time, so please do not miss an exam. Do not miss a major assignment. Do not miss a reading quiz. And again, if you go back, all the reading quizzes are contained within the modules for the chapters over which the exams are taken. If you check your course outline, which, give me a moment, this is about to jump again. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Under your course outline, the course schedule, it will show you each of the reading quizzes. Reading quiz over 2 and 3. Reading quiz over 6 and 7. Reading quiz over 13 and 14. Reading quiz over 16 and 17. Reading quiz over 21 and 22. And so you will simply go to the module for chapters 2 and 3. Or you'll go to the module for chapters 6 and 7. The module for chapters 13 and 14. The module for 16 and 17. The module for 21 and 22, and you will find the reading quizzes there. The exams, as I've commented, are underneath their own module. You'll find each exam at that place. The major essay, I'll be doing a video early next week to talk about that essay. I didn't want to overwhelm you with anything this time, but I will have a discussion of the major essay and the topics, and we'll go over that later in that way. But also, if you go to the modules, as I said, you have additional information, details that's provided. Let's see if we can get that one closed. Maybe. Bear with it just a moment. It takes a little while to get everything working here. Close it. There we go. So that when you go through the different chapters, and you'll see they're laid out, which ones are paired together, primarily because the information within those chapters fit together. To give you an idea, 2 and 3, as I said, both concern Greece. 6 and 7 focus on the rise and foundation of Christianity and its development as a political and social force. That's in 6 and 7. And so I try to link the chapters that way. As you go through these, I'm going to close that one. You'll see you have several chapters to read. It's a total of 23, 2 volumes, but although it's a summer class, it's still quite a bit to cover, I know, but it's still something for you to look at. As I said, you do have videos for each chapter. For instance, under chapter 5, because I covered that you'll see that this is actually for my face-to-face class this spring. I covered chapter 5 in 1 week, so there are 2 videos over it. And so, again, you'll see some additional information that's added to this one. Chapter 5 focuses on the South Asia growth, especially in India, the rise of the Chinese empires, and the development in Japan. And so that's why chapter 5 is sort of a standalone. Chapter 4 is all about Rome, so it stands alone on its own. Chapter 8 is all about Islam, so again, it's a standalone chapter. And again, because I cover that in the course of a longer semester over a full week, there are 2 different recordings from it. In this case, from the spring semester of 2021. But again, in these, I do go over the chapters, I look at the details, I explain information, and I try to add some comments to it as well. This is how the course is set up. Again, it kicks off on Tuesday. If you go to the home page, just in case you're not as familiar with Canvas as you can be on the home page, you will see a calendar. And you can click on View the Calendar. Bear with it just a moment, as it takes a little while for it to call up. Those are all my different courses. This is the calendar for this particular course, and if I move to June, give it a moment, it'll populate all the assignments. You'll see that your Start Here quiz, which doesn't count, it's just a few questions that are just making sure you know how to use a quiz format within Canvas. It's not as a grade, it's just something we have to include. We're still required to have a Start Here quiz. That's due this Saturday. Your first reading quiz due by Sunday the 5th, and your first exam by June 6th, in the ending of the first week, technically. You start squeezing the dates a little bit as we go through. I always give you a little bit of window, a little lapse over. You'll see that your second major exam occurs on Saturday the 11th. That's also when the reading quiz is due. We have the major exam over 16 and 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, which is the third major exam. It's due on a Friday, again, because we're squeezing the semester. And your fourth exam, which is over chapters 20 through 23, 4 chapters, it's your final exam, and it's due the last day of classes for you to take, which is the 28th. It has to be completed by then, because I have to get grades in. And we have to have everything completed. So you cannot miss the due date on that one. But you'll see that each of these, and literally, if you click on this, on the calendar, it shows you what it is, the information, when it's due, and you can literally access it from here. If you click on this right here, it will take you to the reading quiz. Same thing with this one. You'll see it's due here. You click on that, it'll take you to it. And so again, the calendar is very useful. It will appear on the home page for you. Bear with me as I go back. You'll also have a list of assignments that are coming up. It'll start again on Sunday. It'll show you what's coming up starting Sunday the 5th and on through. But again, the calendar is very useful for you as well. I will be hosting a Zoom session probably on Wednesday to give everybody a chance to sort of get into the course, see if there are any questions. It's not required. It's just going to be a brief little session. I'll send you the link. I'll probably hold it on Wednesday evening so that anybody who wants to just come in and say hello, ask any questions that they may have that they prefer just ask in person. We'll have that set up. and I'll send you guys the link tomorrow. And if you want to, again, it's just optional, but that's what we're looking at. Hopefully, everything will go well this summer. It's a fast semester. Literally, we're starting on May 31st, and we're ending on June 28th. So we have 30 days. Again, I'm looking forward to a good semester. I'm hoping you're going to enjoy and will learn from Humanities what it is that it means to be part of the culture that we all are, that we can see connections regardless of whatever background we may have. There's a commonality to us all, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So again, glad to have you in the course. I'm looking forward to a good semester.